entire life, you have been trained to react. From childhood, you learned that a good performance earned a gold star and praise. A mistake earned a reprimand and disapproval. Your sense of worth became tied to the reactions of others. This is the cage. You became addicted to the external validation loop. Your brain became wired to seek the reward of approval and to fear the pain of rejection. This is not your fault. It is your programming. But it is your responsibility to break it. Every time you feel that urge to correct someone who insults you, you are feeding the addiction. Every time you feel the need to explain yourself to someone who misunderstands you, you are begging for a hit of validation. Every time you seek revenge on someone who wronged you, you are proving that their actions control your emotional state. You are handing them the remote control to your mind and begging them to press your buttons. This is why you lose. Not because they are stronger, but because you are predictable. You are a puppet, and they can see the strings. Your reactions are their confirmation that they can manipulate you. Your anger is their reward. Your frustration is their entertainment. Your explanation is their victory. Because as long as you are reacting, you are not thinking. You are not strategizing. You are simply obeying your programming. The first step to wielding the weapon of indifference is to see the strings, to recognize the addictive pull of the reaction, and to make a conscious choice to cut the wires. Let us be perfectly clear. Indifference is not weakness. It is not apathy. It is not a lack of feeling. Weakness is being so controlled by your emotions that you are thrown into a rage by a trivial insult. Apathy is a lack of care, a hollow emptiness. Strategic indifference is the pinnacle of strength. It is the conscious, calculated decision to withdraw your emotional energy and attention from that which does not serve you. It is the supreme act of valuation. You are declaring, this person, this opinion, this outcome, is not worthy of my limited focus, my energy, or my spirit. It is the ultimate expression of self-worth. You are not saying the thing does not matter. You are saying that your peace is more important than your need to prove it does. Think of your attention as your kingdom's treasury. Every time you react to a provocation, you are paying a tax to your enemy. You are funding their campaign against your peace. Every time you engage in an argument with a fool, you are draining your resources into a bottomless pit. Indifference is the decision to seal the treasury, to post guards at the gate, to declare, this resource is sovereign, and it will not be plundered by beggars and thieves. You feel the insult, you recognize the injustice, you see the provocation, and then you make the calculated choice to let it pass. Not because you are weak, but because you are too powerful to be drawn into a petty skirmish. You are a general conserving your army for the battles that will actually win the war. This is the core of the Stoic war manual. The Stoics were not emotionless robots. They were masters of perception. They understood that an event itself has no inherent meaning, only the meaning we assign to it. Your boss's criticism is just sound waves. It only has power if you assign it the power to destabilize you. Your rival's success is just data. It only has power if you assign it the power to make you envious. Indifference is the practice of assigning zero value to the opinions and actions of those who are not aligned with your mission. It is the ruthless editing of your mental environment. Now let's talk about the real-world application. How does this weapon actually work on the battlefield? When you are provoked, your opponent expects a reaction. They have drawn a circle in the sand and are waiting for you to step into it. They are prepared for your anger. They have rehearsed their counter-arguments to your defense. Their entire strategy is predicated on your engagement. Strategic indifference is the one move they cannot counter. It is you refusing to even acknowledge the circle exists. When you respond to an insult with silence, you are not giving up. You are launching a psychological nuclear weapon. Your silence creates a vacuum of validation. They hurled an insult, expecting the satisfying impact of your pain or your rage. Instead, they are met with nothing, a void. This void forces them to confront the emptiness of their own action. Their provocation withers and dies in the air between you, unanswered and unrecognized. It becomes theirs alone to bear. This is incredibly destabilizing. They will often try harder, provoke more, desperate to get the reaction that confirms their own power. Your continued indifference amplifies the effect. It makes them look foolish, unstable, and weak. While you remain calm, centered, and in control, they are revealed to be the emotional, out-of-control one. You have flipped the script entirely without saying a single word. This is how you win, not by defeating them in their game, but by refusing to play their game and instead inviting them to play yours, a game where the only rule is your own unshakable peace. Your indifference becomes a mirror that reflects their own insignificance back at them, and that is a sight they cannot bear to see. Understanding the theory is not enough. You must drill. You must train. This is a psychological martial art, and it requires daily practice. Here is your training regimen. Drill 1. The pause. When you feel the trigger, the heat of a reaction rising in your chest, you do not act. You pause. You take a breath. In that space between the stimulus and your response lies your power. In that moment, you ask yourself one question: will a reaction serve my mission, or will it only serve my ego? 99 times out of 100, you will find it is only the ego screaming for validation. Acknowledge the feeling, and then let it pass through you without acting on it. Drill 2. The reframe. When someone's action tries to assign a value to you, you reframe it into data. Your critic is not a judge. They are a source of data about their own insecurities. Your rival's success is not a measure of your failure. It is data on a strategy that works. Your rejection is not a verdict on your worth. It is data on a misalignment of values. Strip the emotional charge from the event and see it for what it is: neutral information. Drill 3. The energy audit. At the end of each day, conduct an audit. Where did you spend your emotional energy? Did you fund a fool's campaign with your anger? Did you drain your treasury on a pointless debate? Acknowledge it without judgment, and make a plan to guard your resources more fiercely tomorrow. This is not about perfection. It is about progress. Every time you choose indifference over reaction, you are forging a new identity. You are not a man who is easily triggered. You are a man who is unreachably focused. The ultimate goal of this war is not to become a cold, isolated statue. It is to build a kingdom within yourself so rich, so secure, and so self-validated that the opinions of outsiders become like faint weather reports from a distant land. Interesting, perhaps, but irrelevant to your internal climate. This kingdom is built on 3 pillars. The first pillar is purpose, a clearly defined mission that is so compelling, so absorbing, that trivial provocations simply fade into background noise. When you are building an empire, you do not stop to throw stones at every dog that barks. The second pillar is self-worth. This is an unshakable conviction of your own value that is derived from your own standards, your own integrity, and your own actions. It is not up for a vote. It is not negotiable. You know what you are worth, and therefore, the discounts others try to offer you are laughable. The third pillar is abundance, the realization that attention, validation, and energy are finite resources. That to waste them on fools is to steal them from your purpose, your loved ones, and your own peace. When you operate from abundance, you can afford to be indifferent to petty losses. You are the king of your own mind, and a king does not leave his throne to wrestle with a pig in the mud. He simply has the pig removed from his presence. Your indifference is the royal decree that protects your kingdom. It is the unwavering commitment to your own sovereignty. It is the final word. They told you no. So what? Their no is a monument to their own limitations. It has nothing to do with you. Your power was never in their yes. Your power is in your ability to look at their no, to acknowledge it, and to turn back to your work with absolute, uncompromising focus. Let them have their opinions. You have a world to build, and the most powerful tool you will ever use is the silent, stoic, devastating weapon of not caring. Now go and be impervious.